Hey guys, welcome back to Black, White, and the Grays. I'm hoping I get to film a video tonight. We had a storm coming in. Look at, oh, finally. But we had our community garden tour this weekend. I finally built a gate. Got rid of my crappy one and got this one. Or made this one. There's some sketchy skies. Kind of crazy, eh?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I was filming a video.
Oh. I'm on video?
Yeah.
What you got going on out here?
Well, I don't know. Looking at this crazy sky, hoping I can film before a storm comes. It's like right over us though. The weather said it wasn't supposed to rain till later, but I don't know if they could actually tell our weather.
Boys in bed?
Two are. One's reading. We have had some crazy skies over the last few days. I'm going to insert the other at the end of this video just to show you what it was like last night. It's been hot and we're under a red flag warning, and if you don't know what that means, it means it's going to be hot and a chance for a lot of lightning, so that way it causes a lot of forest fires. And when you're under a red flag warning, it means there's like crews in the area, so it's actually a little more safe. Then it's more likely to start a fire, but it's also more likely to get put out. You know what I mean? Instead of it being a random fire caused by somebody, if it's caused by lightning and you're under a red flag, they have the funding with all the equipment nearby. So that's what it means. But it is like eerily calm. It was blowing in a little bit ago. I tried to film a video and it was so windy. And now there's like nothing and these crazy skies. So we'll see. But I think I could squeeze this video in. But tonight I want to talk to you about, which you probably tell from the title, is when we moved here 7.5 years ago. I was one of my first years growing here in Oregon. Trey built me a raised bed. It was like a 4x8 raised bed by the house. I grew all the wrong things. I didn't have any deer fence. I mean, the deer still get into our fence all around this big garden, so like imagine not having any deer fence. And nothing that I grew did well. I remember going to the store and buying starts and being told not to bother. I remember I don't know if it's just me or if it's other people in this area. This is such weird lighting. It's really cool. It's orangey and it's just the color of the sky right now, but every time, even now, I have people that come up to me and will say, they'll see me with, gates closing, they'll see me with tomato starts and they'll say, oh, well, don't even bother. Or I'll be shopping for seeds in late winter, early spring. It's a little early for that, don't you think? Can't even grow anything here. Why are you buying seeds for it? Or don't bother buying seeds. You, can't even grow anything without a greenhouse. And this week was our garden tour, community tour. Oh, this carrot just looks too juicy not to get. Hello, Frage. Oh no, I broke him. He's still good. He's getting big. A little bit of dirt. God made dirt. Dirt don't hurt. There's nothing like a carrot grown fresh in your own garden. Doesn't even compare to a store carrot. I'm sorry, I'm being so rude right now, talking with my mouth full. Can't grow anything, right? This is a hill I'm willing to die on. You can grow so much food here, and you do not need a greenhouse. Get that out of your brain. So many people came this weekend on our community tour and were like, oh, we're building the greenhouse. Oh, we're trying to get it built, but trying to learn how to do it all. And I had signs all around, and one of the signs I had was like, I beg to differ that you need a greenhouse to grow food and be successful in this area. Like, people. Teach yourself how to grow in the ground now. Guys, I'm sorry. This is ridiculously gorgeous. You do not need a greenhouse to grow food. You can grow food to feed your family now. And this weekend, people came. I've done this 2 or 4 years in a row. Never have I ever had people come to my garden and have the urgency to grow food like they did this year. I've never seen it on people's faces. This year was the first year that I can honestly say people stepped through that garden gate and were like, wow. There had 2 reactions. 1, you're a canner, you must preserve a lot of food. And 2, what are you gonna do with all this food? And I'm like, well, I'm putting it up. And then their next question would be, wow, that's a lot of work. I'm like, yeah, it is a lot of work to get the beds prepped, but once you get the beds prepped, it's really not that bad. Then I would just get into talking to them and tell them about the different steps and how I build my beds. We don't do till, we don't do this. But honestly, at this point, guys, if you till or do a no dig or do a combination or whatever the freak you need to do to get food into the ground, you do it. I don't care who you are, where you are, what equipment you have or what you don't. You don't have a tiller, great, do no dig. You don't have access to compost, till it up, get whatever you can to make your soil fertile. And you can do this. You can use food scraps. You can do all sorts of things. You can grow food. But one, buy seeds. Get some compost if you don't have any. If you're in this area, surely your neighbor or somebody's neighbor or Joe Schmo cross town has some free aged horse manure, goat manure, cow manure. We live in an area where a lot of people have a lot of resources and you just have to figure it out. Because this is important. And so I ended up that night calling my mom and I'm like, Mom, you won't believe it. All these people came to my house and they wanted to know how to grow food. Not just tour the garden and think it's pretty, but to actually learn how to grow food. And when I was explaining it to them, they were like deer in headlights. The look on their face. I remember this gentleman, he was right here, and I was telling him, and he's like, I just am trying to get food and grow food, but I don't know how. And he was like my father's age, probably late 50s, early 60s, and the look on his face was such, I can't explain it except for deer in the headlights, because that's exactly what it was. It was a deer in headlights look because he had no idea where to start. He had no resources telling him what to do, which baffles my mind. In a world of YouTube, how do people not do this? Well, I don't do YouTube. Well, maybe you should, because it's such a valuable resource. I can give you all this information for free. Thousands of other people that are way more experienced than me can give you their information for free. My #1 resource, people, is Charles Dowding. Oh my gosh, he is a fountain of knowledge and useful knowledge. And I think he responds to every single comment. And he has over 300,000, 400,000 subscribers. When I started following him, he did not have even 100,000 subscribers. But he is such a wealth of knowledge and he does it for a good deal. He's an older man and he goes and takes his wheelbarrow to his neighbor's house and goes and does runs to go get aged horse manure. He's a valuable resource. He has books at the library. I always say when I go to the library, this is how I know a resource is good. When I was first starting and didn't really want to put the money into books, or wanted to I didn't want to spend the extra money on that resource yet, I would go to the library, check out 10 gardening books, and when I would repeat check them out or get on a list again. If I did it more than twice, I would let myself buy the book. With Charles, his first book that I checked out was the No Dig. I don't know. I own it now because I checked it out 4 times and got on. Other people wanted it, and then I would get on the list, or they make you wait for a little bit if you've checked it out too many times. I just kept doing it. I was like, okay, finally, I'm gonna buy this book. So I was telling my mom this. I was telling her, nobody's ever had this urgency to grow food like they did this time. Nobody's asked these kind of like, how do I begin questions, or how do you do it? I didn't think we could grow food outside like this. I didn't think we could have this much production here. How do you do it? Well, I didn't have time to talk to every single one of the people that came out here because you can only devote so much time. I had people that were, can you please just come over for dinner just to talk us through this so we can pick your brain one-on-one. Like, never have this. It just blows my mind. And then my mom said, Kylie, you know what? You have YouTube, and that is great, but you need to host an in-person gardening class. And I am like, talk about imposter syndrome, hosting a gardening class where I feel inadequate as a gardener. And I know when I say that and you see this, you think, some people may say, yeah, she's inadequate, but some people might say, are you kidding me? Look at all this. You have something to teach. And I think that's where I'm stepping out in faith a little bit, because this has been a little bit of a dream. I have been wanting to tell people that you can grow food and kind of break that cycle, or break the bad rumors that going around our town. We live in a zone 3, guys. We have a frost risk all year round. It is hard to grow food here. Do not get me wrong, but also hear this. Where there is a will, there is a way. If I can do this, so can you. Each and every single year, I don't think anything will grow. I think I am inadequate. I think that I am not good enough as a gardener for this to grow. And the dead honest truth is, I am not. I pray over these seeds because I know that there is a God who created them. And I know that without Him, I cannot get this amount of harvest. That without Him, the seed will not grow. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I never feel adequate enough to be able to produce this. But I have the God of all who is. And so every time I plant these seeds, I pray over them and just say, Lord, I just pray abundantly for abundance. I pray for abundance. And He's not a magic genie, but I feel as if the Lord gave me the resources to have these seeds. And the resources to be an able-bodied woman to be able to plant the seeds, and Lord willing, a wise woman to plant these seeds. I pray that He will bless my efforts. And that's the best I can do. And I pray that over a lot of things, but I did not pray for Him to bless my efforts with my flower farming this year. It was a dud, and that's okay, because my efforts have been blessed elsewhere. But He is not a magic genie, but He does want to give us the desires of our heart. I think that's where it's at. So all of this to say, guys, is, one, my mom told me to get a flyer going to get a garden class for this weekend. I did. Why she gave me that pep talk, and she said, Kylie, this is your ministry. You get out there, you teach people how to grow in this harsh climate to feed themselves. And I don't know if it'll be successful. It might just be my mom and my dad, and they're not even gonna be able to make it. My parents were the first ones to sign up. And then my dad this morning, he is this is my big praise report for this week. My father, he was having this black spot, and today he could like only see half of it, and he works all over the state of Oregon, and they were in a place and they're like, we need to just go to the doctor. And it turns out his retina was detached from his eye, and if he would have waited any longer or drove back over the mountains, he would have lost vision permanently. And they were able to catch it. He went this morning, they caught it. He also had an issue with his other eye, a hole in his eye, and his detached retina in his eye, and they were able to catch both, repair both. Surgery was a success, and my father, Lord willing, his vision is saved. So that is my massive praise report. We do praise reports here because I feel like it is a valuable thing to be thankful and to share your praises with the community. So my parents were the first to sign up, and now they can't make it because if he comes back over the mountain, which is several thousand feet in elevation, it could damage the repair that has been done and be blind again. So they won't make it. But I was like, well, it'll be my mom and my dad. And since then I've had sign up after sign up of strangers that I don't know that are eager to learn. And I am just praying that these people who need this class, who want this class, will find it and will be able to come. It's a little bit short notice, but it is this Sunday at 6 p.m. here on our farm. And I am going to share with you how I get going, answer any questions. I'm going to kind of just be here to tell you how I do it, and then essentially I'm just going to answer questions. I am not going to know everything. I am not a know-it-all professional garden, but I do have a little bit of experience growing, especially growing in this area. And I hope that a little bit of my wisdom, some rain. Hopefully, I'm praying that a little bit of my wisdom will help you at least be able to get your garden growing to feed your family. So I hope if you're local, you could join me on Sunday evening here at my home, and we have a good time and share knowledge with each other. Well, guys, be encouraged if you live in this area to be able to grow food. My next video will be starting my fall seeds. I got to get that going. I'm a little behind. We've been busy getting this farm ready and cleaned up. And now I got to get my own button gear and get my seeds going for fall. But you can grow so much still, guys, especially with just a little bit of cover like this frost cover agribon. You can extend your season into late October, November, maybe even December. I did last year. You just got to be able to grow the right things. Start thinking cold crops. I'm going to list a couple for you. Carrots, beets, cabbages, broccoli, cauliflower, fava beans, peas, green onions, leeks. Some of those things that take a little longer, like onions and leeks, you can plant them in the fall with garlic and overwinter them. I'm going to try that this year. But we can grow so many things, guys. And we can lettuces, kales, greens, all the greens. Grow all the greens, people. Be encouraged, guys. And if you are discouraged, your summer garden failed, your spring garden failed, get the gumption up and get out there to grow more food this fall. It's a wonderful time to grow. A lot of southern gardeners are like, oh, we don't have the bugs and stuff. Well, fortunately for us, we don't have that many bugs here. We do have cabbage moths and stuff like that, but a lot of things that you guys deal with in the south, we do not in the north. But you also don't have frost in the summer, right? And I've also told you about the time where they had a foot of snow on the 4th of July. Yeah, well, I have a friend that can confirm this. So anyway, guys, let's grow a fall garden together. Let's get away from that stigma that you can't grow food here. Let's show people you can grow food here, because you can. Isn't this looking so beautiful? Do you remember those onions we cut? That's them right here. They have grown back and bigger than any other onion. So, it's amazing, huh? They're doing so good. I need to get in here and spoon them again. But they're beautiful. It's getting dark, I can barely see. And the rain is starting to come in. I thank you guys so much for following along. If you're local and can come out on Sunday, 6 p.m., my email's below. Email me, I'll give you directions. It's such a valuable thing to grow food. If you have any praise reports, please put them down in the comments below. I love hearing about your guys's. We haven't done it in a while. So, I will see you guys on my next video. Let's grow some food, people. Let's grow some food. Bye, guys. Oh, real quick. Man, it looks way brighter in here. I'm in the high tunnel. We got it cleaned up, guys. Holla. End wall, door done. Got my little stash of cardboard. My organized tools. Look at me. That's so fancy. Fancy, right? Gotta close this door. All right. Bye, guys. Is this not the most beautiful and wild oh my gosh, look at the rainbow, and then there's this to that.